What celebrity disappeared out of nowhere? Group, LMFAO. Greater than party rock, sorry for party rocking. Greater than vanish without a trace. Gautier. Dude made a single song and just became somebody we used to know. Shelley Miscavige disappeared without a public trace, that entire cult is crazy. Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. Nobody knows if he is dead or alive. A few years back Frankie Muniz, Malcolm, made an AMA and he was asked about a reunion show or episode and he said he actually had the same idea and contacted the other actors and he listed all of them with like, Brian, Jane and Justin jumped on the idea. Christopher the first have to reach yet and I also asked Eric, info, Dewey, so I got his answer, which sounded to me like Eric said no but it means he is alive and reachable for some people. I believe I read somewhere a few years back that Eric said he gave up acting after Malcolm in the Middle so maybe he's just living a normal life now. I think that's what you want for child actors. Make a ton of money and get out. You can take your time learning, without having to worry about money, and build a foundation for a lifelong career. Cameron Diaz. Just up and retired for the quiet life. She married Benji Madden from Good Charlotte and they have a daughter. She did say she has retired from acting. Nelly Furtado. She started out as a catchy singer-songwriter who made mellow kinda indie songs. It seemed like she transitioned to pop star to make a bag, which she accomplished, and then live a nice comfy life. Agatha Christie, mystery writer and author of such classics as And Then There Were None and Murder on the Orient Express, disappeared for 11 days in 1926, leading to one of the biggest media scandals of the time. Agatha Christie went on a short holiday with her husband, Archie. While they were away, Christie disappeared. Her whereabouts were eventually discovered, but she never revealed why she disappeared. Christie herself claimed that she had suffered a bout of amnesia and had no recollection of the 11 days she was missing. She was found 11 days later in a hotel in Harrogate, Yorkshire by a journalist who recognized her from a newspaper photo and helped her return home. She had checked in under the name of Mrs. Teresa Neal, the surname of her husband's mistress. Some believe she staged her own disappearance to get back at her husband, who was having an affair. Others believe she may have suffered from amnesia or even snapped under the stress of her mother's recent death. And of course, there are some who believe she was abducted. The doctor unraveled all that for us. She disappeared because of the giant alien bees. Renee Zellweger totally fell off the face of the earth until she returned with a different face. While I can't say she's had bad plastic surgery, it seems well done. It removed her uniqueness and made her very generic looking. Chris Tucker. I think he's on the record that he made so much money doing Rush Hour 1, 2, 3 that he basically said fuck it and retired. The IRS sued him last year for almost $10 million in back taxes. He probably needs to get back to work. So you're saying there's a chance for Rush Hour 4? Taylor Lautner. I think he was recently on some TikTok where his fiancée was showing who her initial crush was and who she ended up with. It was Robert Pattinson. He's actually trying to restart his career after leaving the business for a while. He's on some Hulu or Netflix movie as one of the main characters. He plays a coach or something. Lele Sobieski. She was popular in the 90s and early 2000s. Lily Sobieski just evolved into Helen Hunt. What's her final form? Jodie Foster? The band, Fun. The guitar player Jack Antonoff is maybe one of the most in-demand producers right now. Wow. Jack Antonoff has played a huge part in influencing pop music for the last decade. I had no idea he was originally from Fun. Amelia Earhart. Icker? It's like she just flew out of existence. Judge Reinhold. Dude was in pretty much everything once upon a time, now you never see him in anything. Mock Trial with Jay Reinhold. JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Where he at? He made a few cameos in Last Man Standing. From what I've gathered is he just likes being him and not all over the place. Being a teen heartthrob is probably stressful enough. He's probably just living off home improvement checks or something. Will always be Thora Birch for me. Her creepy dad destroyed her career. Chris Gaines. Released that greatest hits album and then just like he never existed. Garth Brooks sweating nervously. Mina Suvari. The girl from the American Pie and American Beauty movies, and Teenage Dirtbag video. She went through a lot of sexual abuse when she became famous, and released a book about it all last year. Recent interview. That makes her role in American Beauty feel more creepy than it already was. And then, throw in a Kevin Spacey. Josh Hartnett. He was really big after Pearl Harbor. I enjoyed Lucky Number 11 with Bruce Willis. This movie had a great cast all around. Julia Stiles, she did all those movies in the mid-2000s and gone. 10 Things I Hate About You will forever be one of my favorite movies ever. Cotton-Eyed Joe. I'm still unsure where he came from or where he went. Josh Hutcherson. Maybe he didn't completely disappear because of his role as Peeta in the Hunger Games. But, he was such a sweetheart, heartthrob. Wish his face appeared more frequently in the industry. Watch Future Man. It's fantastic and he's hilarious in it. I was prepared to hate Peeta in a comedy, but he's got chops. The show is a little slapstick, but it's also just really good from beginning to end. Watch it. Meg Ryan. Once I learned that Jack Quaid was Meg Ryan's son, I couldn't unsee her face in his. He is the perfect melding of Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid. He's like one of those pictures where you look at it one way and see one thing, then shift your focus and see another. Whatever happened to Sean William Scott? He is on a sitcom named Welcome to Flash. Tom from MySpace was everyone's best friend at one point. Richard Simmons. He deserves the rest. Justin Long was everywhere for a minute and after 2014 just kinda. Wasn't that around the time he made that walrus horror movie with Kevin Smith? Most of the supporting cast of Bones. Eugene Bird, Edison, does a bunch of voice acting now. He's in the Gears of War series and was just in the new Saints Row. John Francis Daly, Sweets, is working a lot behind the camera. He co-wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming and co-wrote and co-directed the upcoming Dungeons & Dragons movie. Duffy. She was abducted and sexually assaulted, so took a lot of time off to recover from the ordeal. Pretty grim stuff. I really like her music because it's got the same 60s soul revival vibe that Amy Winehouse was also known for. That's horrible. Didn't know this. Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters. Jack Gleason. Damn, I hate him so much. 10 out of 10 villain. He quit mainstream acting after GOT. Also, he said in an interview that people were being dicks to him due to Joffrey Baratheon. What interview was that? He said something else in this one. Greater than, if you could, clarify that people aren't mean to me on the street, Gleason says while relaxing between takes on the Thrones set in Belfast. Nobody's ever said a mean thing to me. Instead people say, "Are you okay? I hear you get bullied on the street." And I say, "No. Everybody's been really nice." Single quote slash. Lauryn Hill mostly disappeared after about 1998 after making some great music with the Fugees. She's still touring but also highly regarded as an unbearable diva, both from musicians and promoters. She also got imprisoned for tax fraud, which is not the best promotional thing you can do. So I guess she keeps a low profile. Brendan Fraser for a while, but now he's back. Disappeared because he was sexually assaulted by some bigwig in Hollywood. He spiraled into depression and eventually lost his spouse as well. He's back after years of struggling with mental illness. This all came out at the height of Me Too. Not really a household name, but John LaJoy had some viral YouTube comedy songs circa 2008 to 2010 with Show Me Your Genitals, What a Fuck Collective, and Everyday Normal Guy. He played Taco in the league for a few seasons and then just disappeared. Jack Nicholson. He seemed to abruptly disappear from the public with retirement. He old man, let him be. Rick Moranis. He quit acting to take care of his kids after his wife died. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What a fuck happened to the guy? I was about to scold you and say he was just in Inception, but that was like 10 fucking years ago, holy shit. Misha Barton was in the OC in the O Then Nothing. Kanye West. One day he released The Life of Pablo and then he was never seen or heard from again. I always wonder what the next stage of his career would have been like. Aaron Eckhart.